The best startup ideas of 2021. We're all here because we want to be successful entrepreneurs. But what is the best way to start your own company? There are so many different ideas out there, but I have my own opinion on which are going to be the most profitable in 2021. In this video, I'm going to give you some pointers on where you should invest your time and money for success. 1. Drone delivery. One of the biggest problems in cities is traffic, and that's especially true in bigger metropolitan areas. Traffic jams are not only a pain while you're sitting there, but they also have a negative impact on your wallet while idling costs money. In 2011, Google estimated that traffic jams cost each driver around $1,400 every year. That's why drone delivery might be one of the big ideas in 2021. It can get goods from A to B quickly and reduce the amount of cars on the road. Here's an example of a drone that can carry dozens of pounds at the same time. Airbus has invested heavily in this technology, and other companies like Amazon are following them closely. 2. Solar-powered homes. If you're familiar with Elon Musk, then you know he's the founder of PayPal, Tesla Motors, and SpaceX. He's also working on SolarCity, which is a company that brings solar energy to people who want to cut down their energy costs. The price of solar panels has dropped nearly 40% in the past 5 years alone. And if you only have limited sunlight, companies are coming up with innovative ways to capture what light there is out there, like this opaque solar paint that uses nanotechnology. 3. 3D printing homes. One reason why housing prices are so high today is because building materials can be expensive, especially for people who live in big cities. That's why some companies are working on ways to 3D print homes, so they can be created faster and cheaper than traditional construction methods. The company I'm talking about is MX3D, which wants to turn this prototype into a real-life product that anyone can afford. But building houses isn't the only thing that could get easier thanks to 3D printing. There are several other industries that would benefit from these technologies as well. 4. Smart appliances that can be controlled from a smartphone. The Internet of Things is all the rage these days. It's expected to be worth $1.9 trillion by 2020, so it'll definitely grow in popularity over the next few years. One way smart appliances can improve our lives is if they were hooked up to a smartphone, so you could see exactly what was going on at home at any point in time. Let's say you're laying in bed and your dog starts barking. Wouldn't it be nice if you could check on him using an app? Or let's go with another example. If someone breaks into your house while you're not home, wouldn't it be helpful if you received an alert about it? I think smarter devices like this will play a key role in 2021, so keep an eye on this trend if you want to cash in. 5. Micro apartments. The average price for renting an apartment in San Francisco is $3,500, which is more than most people can afford. The only way around this problem is if your living space doesn't require as much square footage, something like a micro apartment. The infographic below shows how micro apartments compare to traditional housing. Micro apartments are also pretty trendy, and it seems like they're the solution that big cities like New York are looking for. So if you can build or rent out one of these spaces, I think it's worth doing because these types of properties will become more popular with each passing year. 6. Virtual reality headsets with augmented reality capabilities. Right now, the only way to get a virtual reality headset is if you built it yourself. But by 2021, I think there will be more companies that sell VR-ready gadgets instead of just letting consumers build their own. Some possible examples include this head-mounted display from Oculus and Google Cardboard. But there's another piece of hardware on the horizon that has even more potential: augmented reality headsets. Right now, Microsoft is working with partners to develop AR glasses, so they can add digital images over physical objects. If someone could pull off the same trick as Jarvis from Iron Man, then everyone would want these types of devices in their home. It'll take a few more years before we start seeing virtual reality and augmented reality headsets in the marketplace. But when it finally happens, I think they'll change how we interact with technology. 7. AI chatbots for customer service and sales. Artificial intelligence has been growing in popularity, and it's starting to be used for customer service. One example is the Microsoft Cognitive Services API, which allows developers to create chatbots that can speak with thousands of people at once. If you're big on e-commerce, then you'll probably love the idea of using AI chatbots. For instance, whenever someone wants to buy a product from your website, they could start up a conversation with one of these bots instead of speaking to a human. Not only would this provide extra revenue from each sale, But it'd also make your customers happier because they wouldn't have to deal with long hold times or crappy customer support anymore. 8. Driverless cars. I'm sure everyone knows about driverless cars by now, but I still think it's worth a mention. They'll definitely be a big deal in 2021 because there will probably be even more traffic on the roads, and people will need safer ways to get from place to place. The one downside is that they could have a negative effect on car insurance companies if fewer accidents happen, so they might have to find other ways to make money. But as far as drivers go, getting behind the wheel of one of these vehicles would be pretty cool for those who want more free time. 9. Virtual assistants with emotional intelligence. In this day and age, it feels like everyone uses Siri or Google now on their smartphones, right? Well, I think that'll change by 2021 because these virtual assistants will develop emotional intelligence and be able to detect people's moods based on what they say. For example, if someone has a rough day at work and comes home feeling down, Siri might ask if she wants to hear a joke. If that doesn't cheer her up, then the assistant might suggest going online to read some articles about things that have been making other people happy lately. So even though virtual assistants won't go as far as having emotions by 2021, I think they'll be pretty close, at least as far as understanding user moods is concerned. 10. Streaming sports games instead of watching them on TV. I know that the MLB recently announced the first professional baseball game that'll be broadcast live on Twitter, but I still think that's just a small part of where this is going. By 2021, I think almost all pro sports games will be viewable through streaming services. Facebook, YouTube, Netflix, Twitch. It doesn't matter. The only ones who might continue broadcasting over TV are NFL teams because the country is so obsessed with football right now. But for everyone else, including soccer and other major sports leagues, it seems like everything will eventually move to the web. 11. An app store specifically for AR. I'm not sure if there already is one or not, but by 2021 I think Google will launch an app store specifically for augmented reality apps. For instance, if someone wanted to start using their HoloLens or some other AR device, they'd need to go to an app store like this one in order to buy the programs they want. Since there are already companies working on these types of software, I can see why it'll be beneficial for Google to launch into that market. Although the above list isn't comprehensive by any means, I think those 7 ideas definitely have a good shot at being popular within 5 years. Of course, my hope is that readers will come up with even more great technology trends, but I think you get the idea. 2021 might end up being a pretty interesting year. In the video, we discussed how to find your best startup idea. We also shared some of our favorite ideas from last year's list that you might want to consider for a potential new business venture. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, or subscribe here on YouTube if you're interested in more content like this.